Welcome back to the LPR Trading Group YouTube channel. It's Dave again. I've got another video for you guys today. This one again is a little bit different because we're midday, we're in a trade. I took two losers before I got into this trade. It is what it is. One stab that I took was a good stab. The other one, going back and looking at it, not so much. What I want to do firstly is go over the plan that I posted in the morning, okay? So 842 right here. I've got two options on this trade. What I'm doing is I'm aligning some ICT concepts with order flow, and this is how I get my big picture ideas. It's also how I get my intraday entries. So we'll look at this first post here. This is what I want to see. Either one of these trades today. I'm open for longs or shorts. I do not want to see that 4-hour FVG hold as it doesn't align with any order flow. So that 4-hour FVG is this black area. I do not want to see that hold. It does not align with my order flow, okay? Lower into the 45.11s to 45.14s would be best. So it's down into this area. I have order flow on my TPO chart that's lining up with this daily volume imbalance. This is a check mark in my book, okay? And next I said at 8:59, really feeling this if we can get a little wash in the morning. This is the TPO chart. I wanted to push down into these naked points of control, possibly this value area right here and this single print. So now what I'll do is, now that you have reference of what this TPO chart looks like, we'll go over here and we'll check out the actual action today. And we got exactly what we wanted, okay? These were the naked points of control. We got to wash off the open, right into the naked points of control, and then we go for a drive to the upside. If I go into our charts here, we'll look at this area. Actually, we'll look at the 60-minute, okay? So 60-minute, we pull down. What did we do? We disrespected that 4-hour fair value gap, which I thought price was going to do. We came 1 or 2 ticks from coming into this imbalanced area. I had order flow lined up all in this area. So this area, coupled with the order flow, gave me the go to possibly put on a trade. Now, where a lot of traders went wrong, or I don't want to say went wrong, but where they stumbled up this morning was they got super excited in this morning range, trying to long short, long short, long short. Now, the only trade I had within this morning range, if it played out, is if we got up and above the 45.33, which was my preferred trade for the day. I would have looked for a short back down into these 1950s, and the 1950s, for reference, if we zoom out here, is yesterday's low, okay? I would have looked for a trade short into yesterday's low. We did not get up there, so I waited, and what did I wait for? I waited for a sweep of yesterday's low. Now, here's a mistake I made. I told you guys earlier I didn't like that 4-hour fair value gap as an area for price to hold. What did I do though? We swept the low, price drove up. As we pulled back, I saw like something okay on order flow. I got in a small piece. I added a bit more. I stopped out. What did price do? Price came all the way back down, 1 or 2 ticks from where I wanted it, and then it gave me the entry I wanted right here in order to take this thing for a ride to the upside. This trade right here, I don't hate it as much as I hate the first one, okay? I like the third one the best because it was as close to the area we were looking at on both ICT concepts and order flow concepts. It also gave us very nice market structure shift, displacement to the upside. Where did we buy? This is very important, okay? I'll show you where we bought. If I go over here to my footprint charts, and we'll look at the 10 tick first. So these are the entries here that we took to get long. And what had happened was price opened here, we drove down, price pushed to the upside, we printed a ton of buying in here. As soon as we came back into the buying, we bought for a drive to the upside. All right, let's go to the 8 tick Renko here just so we can see a comparison. I'll get rid of this jazz. So same thing, we open up, we try and sweep the current low here. Once we sweep, we can't hold. We drive to the upside. We've got buyers. We've got buyers on top of buyers. What do I want to do? I want to buy the area that the buyers participated in the market. Price pulled back on this same print and then started driving to the upside. We'll go back to the candlestick chart to have a look at it one more time on the 1 minute. So we sweep the little low, get really close to our imbalance area here. We hit those naked point of controls that were on our TPO chart. We form a higher high. We put together a market structure shift with displacement to the upside. We left orders back here. What do we got on the 1 minute chart as well? Purely ICT concept. We've got a little fair value gap here. Now, you notice how I bought below the fair value gap? Well, this is because this is where my orders were. In this instance, there's no issue buying the front of this fair value gap. You're just going to get a worse entry by a point or two. Now, this is a very small gap, so I'm not super concerned with it. But when I see these concepts come into play, we sweep below, we get a market structure shift with displacement to the upside, and I have a draw that I'm looking for on the top side. I find that fair value gap, I'll always take my entry off the order flow. The fair value gap or the order block or whatever you guys are looking at is just an indication saying there is a trade possible in this area. And for me personally, my trade entries come off of the order flow after that. Okay, so what we're going to do with this trade now is we partialed some of the position up into these previous highs. Now, why did I partial up into those previous highs? Not only because it was a previous high, but because if we look right here, that's 695. That's a passive seller and aggressive buying into the highs. That means someone is sitting there with liquidity that the market wants to take. So we chop around down here. Where do I want to take my partials? Back into that area. Okay, right back into that area. So that was my order flow exit there. At this point, I was gone from the charts and I just returned. So I'm letting the trade play itself out. My next partial was at this 45.2875. Why was my next partial at 45.2875? Let's see if we can see it here. Okay, it is still there. So this area right here is the point of control on the day, okay? The POC point of control. That's the most balanced area on the day. What does price want to do naturally? Well, let me show you. If 29 is the most balanced price on the day, which is right here, okay? This makes sense. This is where the most transactions were had throughout the day. When price trades away from value, what does it want to do? It naturally wants to trade back into value. So that's where I put my next target, back into value. Value will act like a magnet. I do not like trading areas around value because it's balance. It's where the market is balanced. Joe and Susie agree on price, so it just chops back and forth like this. I do not like to trade out of balance. I will wait for the market to leave balance and then trade it, or wait for it to leave balance, then trade back into balance, okay? I do not like guessing a direction outside of balance. Okay, my next target on this trade is just in front of this 45.34 here. And why is 45.34 a target? Well, if we look at this 1 minute chart right here, it shows up on the 5 minute, 15 minute as well. We've got a lot of these relatively equal highs. There should be some liquidity over this area. I'm expecting price to get above this 45.33. Okay, Dave, why do you want higher than 45.33 then? Well, I mean, that's a valid target. If you just had your target at 45.33, there's nothing wrong with that. I've got a 15-minute fair value gap here that I'm looking for price to move into. On top of that, if I look at my order flow, TPO right here, I've got a naked point of control right here from some of yesterday's session and the on session. I would expect price wants to go up to visit that naked point of control. Let me zoom this chart in here a little bit. Okay, what else do I have up here? At high of day, I have poor highs, okay? Poor highs. Remember we said in a previous video, in order to have excess or a completed auction at a high or a low, you need at least 2 single prints at that high. You notice how there's only 1 C print here. This is a poor high. You notice how in the on session, there was only 1 V print here. What did the market want to do? It wanted to take out that low to complete the unfinished auction. So my expectation, right or wrong, is I want price to finish through this high. I want price to complete this high. It might only be by a tick or two, but my expectation is I want to see price complete this high right here. Now, on the day is looking very decent actually for a very nice bell curve. What would make this bell curve look much nicer? We have a very nice excess low put in. We've got the belly of the bell curve. If price could do this, we have a very nice bell curve looking down the market profile. So what I'll do is I'll sit here. I will leave my position in the market. I will not touch it. I trust it. I have a stop in. I don't have to do anything wild or crazy. Just let the trade do what it wants to do. I'm not smarter than the market. I've executed a position where I think I have a significant edge or an advantage in the market. My target is here, and that's where I will let it go. If I do not get this target, I will stop out around break even, and I have no problem with that. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this little midday market recap where I'm kind of still in a position here. I came off of 2 losers. I think I was down about 12 points before this trade, which is fine. It is what it is. But like always, like, comment, subscribe. If you guys like this content, I'll definitely keep it coming for you. I will get back to every single one of your comments. Good luck on the charts. Trade safe. Cheers.